I'm Natalie Standridge, founder and franchisor of Casa de Corazón Intercultural Early Learning. Welcome to my podcast, Decades of Disruption. Here, I'll share my journey, the decades of stories and convictions that have driven my choice to not only contribute to, but also to disrupt the early childhood education industry. But these stories aren't only my own. I'll be joined by the people whose lives have been changed by what I've created and whose mere existence have been a constant source of inspiration to me too. If you're ready to challenge the status quo and build something truly unique and impactful, you're in the right place. Disruption has a purpose, and we're here to talk about it. Welcome back to Decades of Disruption. Today we're speaking frankly. Nutrition, motherhood, and entrepreneurship can coexist, but they require real, practical, and sometimes uncomfortable decisions. Marissa, an enrolled mom at Casa de Corazón and a maternal-child nutrition specialist, is here to share her experience with us. Hey, Marissa, thanks for joining us today.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to just talk more about what it's like being a working mom and especially living in the nutrition world in this day and age. So let's dive in.
Absolutely. So give us a little bit of your background just to start off, your experience as a nutritionist, what you're currently doing with that, your historical experience online with Nutrition for Moms, all of those things.
Yes, great. Well, I'm a registered dietitian by training. So many years ago now, I also have a master's degree in nutrition science. Okay, wow. And I didn't know where that was going to take me originally. At first, I thought I wanted to work one-on-one in the nutrition setting, whether it's weight loss or everything from cardiovascular disease to renal disease to diabetes. But eventually I found myself working in the food industry. So learned a whole lot there. And I still actually work in the food industry.
Awesome.
At the same time, I also, when I was becoming a mom myself for the first time, realized that even as a dietitian, I did not know what to feed my child.
Isn't it a crazy world?
World of complications. And, I had education in this space.
Right.
And so I really kind of found a side passion in this prenatal maternal nutrition space. So I started my own online Instagram account, Nutrition for Moms. It's still live today. I will say it's been years now kind of since I've really dove into that and shared a lot, but it's still there, it still exists. And I really went there with just the mindset of sharing my knowledge and all the research I was doing in feeding little ones, especially getting through pregnancy and then introducing solids. And so that just really gave me some additional passion and reignited my interest in nutrition.
Yeah, and that's why I'm so excited to have you here today because, of course, I'm responsible for feeding lots of young people and want to pick your brain about all of that. What do you think is the biggest nutrition mistake that today's moms make regarding their children's diet?
Yeah, well, first of all, I don't like to say there's a lot of mistakes that can be made. We're all learning as moms. But fair. I think the number one thing that we don't do is we don't give enough variety. There's just this kind of, here's what I have to do, and we stick to just what we know versus sharing the variety. And that's actually something I love so much about Casa is the different cultural variety.
We strive for that,
the different food groups of variety, and just exposing children at young ages when their taste profiles and palates are forming. It's so important to just continue to give variety. So that's my number one tip for moms.
I love that.
Just continue to do it.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do at Casa. And the more we can expose kids to at a young age, the more open they'll be to trying new things, right, throughout life.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Yes.
So a lot of maybe new parents who aren't sure what to feed their kids might tend to follow trends. Are there any trends currently on social media or otherwise that concern you?
Yeah, right. There's baby-led weaning, there's formula, there's a bazillion, I'm not going to call them trends, there's just different ways of feeding your child. And there's not necessarily one that's right or wrong. When I start to get concerns as a dietitian, it's when we're eliminating a specific food group, like completely going to one extreme or the other.
Okay.
And I think the reason for that is kids need a lot of different micronutrients.
Yep.
And so if we're eliminating a complete food group, like dairy, obviously there's reasons that you might need to eliminate dairy for allergy reasons, but if we're completely eliminating a food group, you might be lacking some of those nutrients like calcium or vitamin D, or if we never get fish in our diet ever, which I don't love fish, so it's hard.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, how are we making that up in other ways?
Yes.
So I just think stay away from the extremes.
Okay.
And I like to find a middle ground. Personally, what I did when I was introducing solids to my kids, I did a combination approach of purees, iron-fortified cereals, like the mashed cereals, as well as some baby-led weaning. I did a combination of both. And let your child lead as well. They're going to you're going to notice what works for them and what doesn't.
Totally. And that goes completely in line with your advice of giving as much variety as possible, right?
So it comes back to the variety, right?
Yeah. Get them all of those micro and macronutrients. I love that. So as entrepreneurial moms and working moms, sometimes it's difficult to prioritize our own self-care and our own nutrition even. What's a wellness practice that you consistently recommend for busy working moms?
You know, and it changes after each kid. With one, I still found time to work out, believe it or not. I still found time to have some hobbies. With 3, not so much.
Yeah.
The number one thing that I've done for myself recently is I wake up before my kids.
I hear that a lot.
10 minutes.
This is the trick. This is the hack. Yeah.
And, I kind of used to wait until my kids would wake me up and then you just become frazzled where you're trying to kind of reach their needs. You're not ready. There's a bazillion things that have to happen. Yeah. And I found just waking up, I strive for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And just, I come down, I have my coffee, maybe turn my fireplace on.
Yeah.
5 minutes of meditation.
Yeah.
And then I look forward to my kids waking up.
Of course.
Then they come down and they snuggle and
I love it.
So that's the number. Even if you're short on sleep or had a rough night of sleep, 10 minutes. Just make it 10 minutes to get yourself up, get ready, have that moment of breath before
jumpstart the
day starts.
No, that's a great tip. I think that would work really great for a lot of people. Okay, I'm going to dig in on the CASA questions now. Yeah. So as a licensed childcare provider, I work within the confines of the USDA food pyramid, which means that I must serve milk, a fruit or vegetable, and a whole grain for breakfast.
Yep. It's a lot of food.
From what I know, it is a lot of food, but from what I know about nutrition, I sometimes struggle to see this as the healthiest start to a child's day because sometimes there's no protein in that, right? So what whole grain foods can you recommend that don't have any added sugar?
Yeah. Oh, great question. Let me just start by addressing some of the USDA stuff. Those guidelines are there from a public health standpoint, right? Yeah. And they're looking at broader populations.
Of course.
When we're talking about CASA and we have knowledgeable parents and families that maybe know a little bit more, or want to strive to a little bit more, I think we can adjust and work within those confines to make the best choices possible.
Great.
So they're there for a reason, right? So we don't go rogue, but definitely can be adapted. I would completely agree with you. I think starting a kid's day with protein is important, and more research is coming out around the importance of protein at breakfast.
Right.
And so maybe the guidelines will get updated at some point. I don't know.
We can hope.
In the meantime, we can do what we can with the knowledge that we have and the latest evidence-based information. Yeah. So when you're thinking of breakfast, there's a lot of options with whole grain.
Right.
You have lower sugar options of cereal, maybe not zero.
Right.
And I'll get back to the sugar point in a second because I think it's really important to address that head on.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of whole grain options. There's whole grain waffles. There's whole grain cereals. There's whole grain bagels, English muffins.
Yes.
Oatmeal, as you know, I think we serve oatmeal at Casa. And then thinking of ways to add on protein to that.
Yep.
Milk actually has protein.
Great.
So that's, cereal and milk.
We do good milk. Yep.
Or,
at breakfast.
To oatmeal, there's higher protein oats that we can look into, or we can add some of those nut butters. I know peanuts are out, but you can add nut butters and mix it into some cereals. Chia seeds, maybe not with kids, but there's some other ways. Eggs. I know you guys do eggs as well.
We do, yeah. Why would you say maybe not on the chia seeds for kids?
So the texture of it gets stuck. If you've ever had it, you walk around with chia seeds in your mouth. I love them. I think they're a great source. I think
really
we'll touch on it a little bit later when we talk about DHA as well.
Okay.
But that could be a simple, just little way to add protein and some other nutrients as well.
Okay. Yeah, you mentioned...
And with kids, it's always worth testing. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, see what they like, see what they don't. And I mean, they also say kids have to be exposed to things like 4 to 7 times.
Even
sometimes
more.
Before they, how many is it?
Well, I've seen different numbers, but I've seen up to like 16 times.
What?
Of repeated exposure.
Okay.
So that's another thing too that I think parents make a mistake on, including myself, is you might offer something to your kids for dinner.
And they refuse
it. Mm-hmm. Offer it again a week later.
Yep.
They still refuse it.
Yep.
Offer it again. They still refuse it. Keep offering until at one point.
Okay.
They'll at least try it.
Yeah.
And I also like to not put a lot of pressure around kids to eat things.
I love that.
It's, it's not, I fall victim to this too.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not going to get your dessert until your dinner's gone. And we really kind of want to try to not put this pressure around food.
Right.
And it's our job as parents to offer a variety of nutrient-dense choices. It's the child who gets to decide what and how much of that they eat.
And that is exactly what childcare licensing tells us to do as childcare providers.
Okay, that's great.
You offer all of the things required by the USDA food pyramid in the portion sizes that are required for the ages, but you don't make them eat it all.
No.
They get to choose what they can take off their plate and ingest, and that's why we report to families, right? Your child ate this, but not that, because, it's just the concept of offering.
Yeah. And I actually love that because I grew up in a different era, right? Where we were kind of a finish your clean plate club, right?
Course.
We've all been kind of know that. And so it's hard not to do that at home with our own kids. So the fact that they're getting that at Casa, I'm like, okay, well, if I don't follow the exact rules at home, they're still getting
That's part of what we're trying to do, right? Take the pressure off parents a little bit because it is a lot. Yeah. Okay, so we covered breakfast. What about snacks? Are there any snacks that are maybe simple but healthier than some of the packaged snacks like granola bars?
Yeah, I'm all about simplicity, right?
Yeah.
3 kids, 2 working parents, sports activities. So there is a time and a place for convenience, right? The granola bar, the crackers, I'm totally all for those.
Okay.
But when we have a little extra time or pre-plan a little bit, some of the go-to snacks for me, apples and nut butter.
Right.
Edamame and hummus. Might sound out there, but hummus is, you can get that prepackaged.
Yeah, and that's protein.
You get some celery that's already pre-cut or some edamame, and I might not like it at first, but you keep exposing them, you keep exposing them. Love that. String cheese is another easy, great one to go with.
Good go-to.
And there are some great packaged snacks out there that have lower sugar options.
Okay.
And the reason I don't say 0 sugar or no added sugar.
Yeah, tell me about the sugar thing.
Is because I also have this philosophy that it's not nutrition unless it's eaten.
Okay.
And if something tastes bad.
Yeah.
Because it has no sugar.
Yeah. It's not going to get
not going to get eaten.
Yeah.
So I would rather actually have a little bit of added sugar.
Okay.
If it's yogurt or ready-to-eat cereal or a granola bar. Because a lot of those, that can also come with whole grain. It can also come with fortification.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they might get a little added sugar with it, but they're looking at the total package of the food. Right. The nutrient density of the food. Yeah.
Okay. So that takes some of the pressure off, right?
It takes some of the pressure off, and I don't go to the store looking for 0 added sugar. Plus, it's really hard to find.
Oh, it is. Yeah, especially in the packaged.
And that's a whole nother conversation, because I do think at young ages, infants, toddlers, we don't want to be exposing our kids to highly palatable, really sweet foods, because that can then change their preferences for young childhood. That, of course, they're going to want that. They've tasted it. It's good.
And it doesn't need to have 16 grams of added sugar. But, I also struggle with, okay, if we feed the kids whole fat, plain Greek yogurt, are they really going to eat that, right? If it has
there's ways to sweeten it too, with strawberries or
mixing in natural sugars like fruits.
Yes, like fruit or a little bit of granola that they can add to it that might have a little bit. So there's other ways to do it too that are pretty simple.
Awesome.
Which I'm all about simplicity. So
for sure. Yeah. And a little bit of prep time, right?
Exactly. Maybe a little bit of thinking. And once you get in the routine of it, you have your go-tos.
Yeah.
And it makes it just, easier.
Yeah. Okay. So you're familiar with our infant meal plan, which has evolved quite a bit since you first enrolled, partially due to your recommendations. Thank you so much. You're also familiar with our toddler preschool meal plan, which strives to provide wide variety of whole foods, like you said. Do you have any additional recommended changes to our infant menu or to the toddler preschool menu in particular at Casa? And I'm putting myself vulnerable on the line here, asking you this on the podcast, but I would love your input.
I love that. And I'm going back years now. So my oldest is almost 8.
I know.
And we did not start at Casa.
Yeah.
This was pre-pandemic. The wait list was insane.
Right.
So one of the first daycares we went to, I vividly remember they were served donuts and danishes for breakfast.
No, that is not okay.
And it was appalling. And then lunches were chicken nuggets. And don't get me wrong, we eat plenty of chicken nuggets at home.
Yeah, but we don't need this at daycare. Yeah.
When you're putting your kid into a childcare and you want to take some of that pressure off, you want to just know that they're getting good food there.
Food.
So that was a big reason we moved to Casa. We were so excited when we finally got our kids in there.
Thank you.
And I do think you've done a phenomenal job with the food menu and where it's progressed to. I think one of the recommendations I had made early on was looking at nutrients, right? And iron is a really important nutrient, especially for breastfed babies and breastfed infants.
Yes.
And just that first year of life.
Right.
And so incorporating more of that iron fortified cereals or foods, I think is huge. And a lot of times, some of the organic options are not fortified.
Interesting.
And so,
because they're less processed.
Yeah, well, and that's just part of the regulations. You don't necessarily have to do that. And so something to be mindful of when we're weighing our decisions. Do you want to go the all organic, or do you want to go, iron fortified? And so kind of weighing some of those options as well.
And are there areas where we can do both?
Both, exactly.
Right?
And there are both. There's a lot in the marketplace. So I think that was just one amazing thing that you guys have done. And then having the variety, too, of different purees and fruit and a vegetable blend.
Yes,
I love
we're doing that now.
I love that.
And it's the babies like it better. they love those blends.
And get them exposed to that early. Yeah. And then the toddler menu, too. A lot of the mixed dishes. The soups, the stews, the chilies, the lentils. I'm like, I would never cook this at home. Yeah. I love that. My kid eats all of it and probably asks for seconds.
Yes.
And so that I think is just the mixed dishes. And the reason I say mixed dishes is because when everything's just served in a separate, your meat, your protein, it's easy for a kid to just pick one.
Yep, that's why
and then not eat their vegetables.
Mix the veggies into most of the things. Yep.
Yes. So mixing it in, you might get them to pick a couple things out as they get older, but they're exposed to it. And they're probably taking a few bites of it. Yeah. So in my world, that's a win.
Awesome.
So I love that you guys have done that. When I take a look at the menu, there's one area of opportunity that I see. And this is a hard one because selfishly I struggle with this at home.
Yeah, fair.
DHA. It's a healthy omega-3 fatty acid.
Okay, say more.
And you probably heard of them, DHA?
Of course, yes.
Okay. Fish oils.
Fish oils, yes. I know this is often in fish, which is also a common allergen. So how else can we get it?
Maybe you probably can help me understand some of the regulations.
Yeah.
I don't see fish on the menu.
No, it's not.
I don't like fish. I don't serve fish at home to my kids. So I'm like, I really wish I got it at school.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I do at home. That could be another option if there's allergen restrictions with fish in childcare. There's DHA fortified milk on the market these days.
Okay, interesting.
There's edamame.
Yep.
And chia seeds, which are more of a plant-based version of DHA.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of other versions or sources of DHA out there besides fish.
Okay.
So, shrimp and I don't know. Have you guys thought about that?
No.
Like fish?
No. Well, have we thought about serving fish? Yeah. Yes. It's not prohibited by licensing. We've just avoided it because we know it's a common allergen. But I know there's also shellfish are more of a common allergen than other fish. Exactly. And so I'm open to exploring that for sure. Yeah. The edamame, how do you serve it in the package or just the plain soybeans?
The little like soybeans. Yep. You can roast them. You can steam them.
Yeah.
You can serve them as just as a vegetable.
Amazing. Okay.
I think so. If I'm not honest, I don't even know.
Well, we could just throw it in the lentil soup or whatever,
you can throw it in lentil soup.
They don't
you can
have
get
that strong of a flavor.
I mean, I know you can dip some in hummus. You think of when you've gone to go get sushi and they're. I love those.
Yes.
Salt on them.
Yeah. So good.
Obviously you're dealing with kids, so you're different have to think through all that. And back to the fish, again, you're probably dealing with, where do I source this from?
Right, of course.
Cost,
mercury,
accessibility, mercury, all of the stuff. So
Farmed
you have to
versus wild, all of the things.
There's so much
fish
you
is a
can get
complex
into.
world in and of itself.
But that's kind of when I look at the menu, it's the DHA.
Yeah.
That's the one piece that I'm like, ooh,
kids need that. Yeah, for brain development. Right?
Brain development, especially in young kids. Yes.
Okay.
And on my Instagram account years ago, I had a whole bunch of different posts on DHA and how to get it in pregnancy and introduce some of it to the infants as well.
Amazing. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to dig into that for sure. So overall, from your professional perspective, what do you think about the menu at Casa? Are there any nutritional practices that you see here that you would love to see elementary schools adopt? I know you have older kids now that are off into the regular schools. Yeah. So what do you think? I
would first, applaud Casa for being a pioneer in the food and health space. I really, comparatively speaking, definitely a leader in the space.
Thank you so much.
And I think we can learn a lot from that for our schools. And I get there's different requirements. Right. You're dealing with different circumstances. And school meals overall, my kids eat school meals.
Oh.
I am a proponent of school meals. The fact that kids that are eating food do better in school than kids that are hungry.
Of course.
Right? So you're kind of like, there's a lot of different tiers that we can look at.
And some schools are better than others. So you're satisfied with what's being served in your kids'
we
schools?
Are in a great school district.
Awesome.
So I recognize how fortunate and privileged I am, first of all, to have that. Okay. School meals are set just to, really help meet some of the USDA dietary guidelines. Are they perfect?
Of course.
No.
Yep.
I would like to see less added sugar. Food waste is a big problem in schools.
Yeah. Yep, it is.
And part of it comes down to the taste of the food. If you don't have some added sugar in it, it doesn't taste good and it gets thrown away.
Yep.
So I also recognize that schools are dealing with a lot of complexities.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's easy to sit in a position of privilege and say everything should be organic or everything should be fresh and local.
Right.
I recognize we live in Minnesota as well.
The practicality of that.
The practicality, the accessibility, the affordability of it. So there's a lot of different complexities in it. What I do think we can learn is kids like variety. And if they are given choices, you'd be surprised how many kids actually would make a nutritious choice.
Yeah.
If we're giving them choices against less healthy foods, well, they're also kids. They're probably not going to make the best choice. So it is this weird paradox where you have to allow choice, but also within guidelines.
Absolutely.
Because I think we have a responsibility as parents, as schools, as the public to have healthy choices available without all the temptations over here.
Yes.
Because willpower only gets you so far.
Exactly. No, it's all a balance.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've picked your brain for Casa's benefit and the benefit of all of the kids that we have enrolled and all of that. But a question that I hear a lot from families that we have enrolled is, how do you get the kids to eat this wide variety that we're talking about here? Do you have any particular tips for families for meals that they can try at home if they have a picky eater?
Yeah. Picky eaters is a hard one too.
Yeah.
And if parents have the means, working with a really good pediatrician or a dietitian can be a great start. I know it's not accessible to everybody.
Right.
So my number one thing that I do, because I wouldn't say I have picky eaters, but we definitely have eaters that know what they want, and they are now getting older. They've been to birthday parties. They've been to grandma's house. They are getting a lot of sweets and sugar in their life. And that's part of me has had to let that go.
Right.
Part of me has just had to remind them and continue to educate my kids on sweets are okay in moderation and at certain events, but they're not meant to be at every meal. And there's certain foods that do good things for our body and certain things that maybe not so good things.
So helping the kids understand that.
So I think educating them early on, kids are smart.
Yeah, for sure.
Educating them early on and almost empowering them a bit. I've noticed as they've gotten older, they now will even say things like, oh, I can't eat any more of that because my tummy will hurt.
Yeah.
Wow, like that's a good observation.
Yeah,
if
like
you eat that whole bag of licorice or whatever.
You're monitoring yourself. You're getting to know your own body.
So helping them self-regulate, I think, is key, just by educating early on. Making healthy choices, my number one thing is keep it simple.
Right.
To come home from a long day of work with cranky or sick kids, and then to think of cooking this kale and quinoa meal is overwhelming.
Yeah.
I call it my plate method. It's like, do you have a vegetable, a complex carb, which could be brown rice, whole grain pasta, could be mac and cheese.
Sure.
Right? And so, okay, you have your veggie, you have your complex carb, and your protein.
Right.
And you kind of just think about how do, in some way, shape, or form, I get those three components.
Okay.
And when you think about it that way, it's like, okay, your
Feels
protein
simpler.
could be chicken nuggets.
Yep.
Your protein could be lean chicken breast.
Yeah.
Your protein could be fish sticks.
Yeah.
It could be cheese.
Yeah.
Yogurt.
Keeping it super simple.
A vegetable. And a vegetable could be baby carrots, sliced cucumbers. We love a lot of the steamer bags. You know, it's like simple.
So easy.
Throw them in.
Yep.
Yeah, I know there's the whole plastic thing, but at some point I'm like, it's a meal.
Prioritizing.
And we're prioritizing time.
Yeah.
And then your complex carb could be, a grain, a noodle.
Wonderful. Yeah,
a cereal.
Yeah. It's interesting, when I first started doing this 2 decades ago, they did not have a requirement for whole grains. They just had a requirement for grains.
For grains. Yep.
And so now, hopefully, that childcare that you started out at 8 years ago with your firstborn, hopefully they're no longer serving the donuts and danishes for breakfast, because they have to actually serve a whole grain every day. So it's interesting when you say the complex
Which
carbs,
you can see where the USDA guidelines can have some right?
Positive influence.
Positive influence.
Absolutely. Of course. It has its place.
Yes.
Okay. So let's move on to you've already sort of talked about, like, people, when we're short on time for healthy cooking, it's kind of tough. Okay. This is an important one.
Yeah.
When the mother of a family changes her own nutritional habits, what is the wider impact of that? Can you speak to that?
Yeah, there's a lot in this one. I think what I've seen a lot of families, and a lot of times you end up seeing in my world, it's either a food allergy that someone's, changing their lifestyle for, whether it's gluten or dairy, that just trickles down to the rest of the family.
Yeah.
Or it could be a weight loss scenario, or managing a metabolic disease.
Yep.
And a lot of times it can have trickle-down effects that can be very positive.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's positive shifts in dietary patterns, right?
Right,
like eating more vegetables, or eliminating more sugar, or decreasing the amount of kind of processed foods in the house. And that can have a trickle-down effect that can benefit the family. It can also be really isolating at the same time for a parent if they're having to cook separate meals.
Right.
So I always like to say, try not to cook separate meals.
Okay.
Don't be a short order chef for your kids.
Yeah.
Right?
Integrate
whatever
you're
mom
doing.
And dad or parents are eating, or caregivers are eating, that's what the child should eat.
Awesome.
It's easier said than done, though, because, we'll make a different type of meal. Maybe it's a little spicy and the kids don't want it. So it's easy to become a short order cook. But the best we can do as parents is try to just
let them eat all the things.
Unless someone's on like a very restrictive diet for certain reasons that might not be valuable for the kids.
Might not get the kids enough nutrients.
What they need. Yep. Okay. Or another kind of tip for picky eaters too is, offer the meal that the rest of the family's eating, but always make sure there's something on that plate that the kid's going to eat.
Of course.
Whether it's a piece of bread that they're going to like, or they like broccoli, put that on there. So there's something that the kid can choose that they like, and that they'll eat.
So on your social media channel, Nutrition for Moms, that we talked about, you had often offered very practical tips.
Yes.
Can you think of one in particular that was very popular, and why do you think it broke through?
Yeah, I think, that's a good one. I believe I already addressed this with just my simple plate method. Or I give some examples on the account if anybody wants to go back to @nutrition4moms, and you can kind of scroll down. Yeah. I give little simple tips on how to add more to boost up the nutrition of a meal. Okay. So you might be eating, I'm making this up right now, scrambled eggs.
Right.
and plain scrambled eggs, and that's all their kids are going to eat. Well, you can add some more nutrition by rounding the meal out with some fruit or a little piece of whole grain toast on there.
Yep.
So I'm all about how can we add food to our diets.
Yeah.
Even they might be like, well, I'm adding all these calories. I'm like, well, but you'd be surprised that, well, kids, first of all, probably need the calories for growing bodies.
Yep.
Secondly, if they're getting full off of nutrient-dense foods, they have less room for all the snacks.
Right.
And if anyone has kids, you know it's like snacks all day long.
All day long.
So fill them up on a well-rounded out meal to boost their nutrition up.
Amazing.
And then hopefully have to deal with less snacks and less breaks and whining and all of the things.
Right. And the getting hungry and the sugar crashes and all of that. So if it's nutrient dense, high protein meals, then you're struggling less throughout the day.
Yeah. No, and I always do try to find a way to get a protein in.
Sure.
To a snack. And that's not always easy because a lot of times the kids want to grab for the quick cracker or, you know, something sweet.
Yeah.
But even if they can pair that with a string cheese, a hard-boiled egg, some nut butters to help with some healthy fat, some healthy protein, helps with that satiety factor.
Okay.
Keep them full for longer.
Okay, I'm going to get personal here for a second. Have you faced any nutritional challenges with your own kids that have informed you and how you support the community in these things?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I could be here intentionally and genuinely if I didn't struggle with myself. I mean, I will tell you, most of our weeknight meals, I feel like we rotate between pizza, chicken nuggets, mac and cheese, and eggs or quesadillas.
So relatable. Yeah.
And that's just what my kids are. That's our life. That's where we live.
Accept. Yeah.
Yes. Do I know I could do better? Do I sometimes feel guilty as a dietitian mom? Absolutely. Especially because I have a lot of the knowledge of what I should be doing. But first of all, I tell parents, let that go.
Yeah.
You're doing your best. Forget the rest.
Yeah.
And then part of doing your best, though, is having some of that knowledge.
Yeah.
So guess what? We had pizza last night. Frozen pizza.
Okay.
We also had broccoli with it and apple slices and a glass of milk.
There you go.
So I just look at ways that I can boost the nutrition of it, that I can round it out a little bit more and feel good that I still got a fruit and a vegetable and some calcium on my kids' plate. And they had some pizza that they enjoyed.
Yes.
Mac and cheese nights. There's a lot of varieties of mac and cheese out there. There's even whole grain varieties. There's grass-fed varieties. You have mac and cheese. I put in some of the frozen vegetable mix.
Okay.
That you can just throw right in there. You know, like the ones that have like the peas, the carrots, the corn. Steam it up a little bit and add it right in there.
Such an easy hack.
Yeah. Or you can even throw in some little chicken slices too and kind of make it more of a mixed dish, macaroni and cheese.
My mom used to put tuna in ours.
DHA.
There you go. Getting us our DHA right in the mac and cheese.
See, you already came up with your own recipe. Chicken nugget night. I mean, same thing. We'll do chicken nuggets, a mashed potato, and a veggie. Yeah. And you can rotate those veggies and, you know, have the kids help in the kitchen too.
I love that.
Little simple things. Yeah. Do I give my child a giant knife? No. But can they peel a cucumber? Yeah. Can they stir the mashed potatoes? Can they get the plates out? Having them feel part of the meal also helps to just increase their love for nutritious food.
So important. Yeah. Awesome.
So I do have just a quick question for you.
Yeah.
As you've been looking at the menu of Casa, and not necessarily having a nutrition background, but clearly knowledge in this space, how do you feel your menu stacking up right now? And how have you been able to make such good progress?
Yeah, so I was inspired by exactly what you described about the child care center that your firstborn went to. Yeah. When I went looking around for child cares for my firstborn, that's what they were serving, right? And I was like, wait, you're giving that to a 14-month-old, like a 1-year-old sitting at the toddler table, having donuts for breakfast and, you know, the processed, packaged, chemical-laden foods for lunch. And I was just so inspired to do better, right? To be better. And that was one of the foundational principles for building the program, was to serve healthy food made from scratch for the kids daily. Now, where do I think that we can consistently improve and even do better is with the things that we are still buying packaged. So a lot of our snacks. So that's why I was asking you about more snacks that may or may not be as processed. Like there are hummuses that yes, they're packaged in a store, but there are simple ingredient ones that maybe we could add as a high protein snack.
And they're packaged for safety and accessibility and 100%, transport, right?
100%. Yeah. And that's not necessarily an evil thing. And then you mentioned food waste when talking about the elementary schools, but there are some lunches that some of the kids don't like.
Yep.
And can we switch to something that is more palatable, more liked by more of the kids after we introduce it many times? You know, we're pretty great with variety from month to month. So we're always introducing new things, but are there certain ones that we need to accept? Okay, this isn't a beloved meal.
Well, and it goes back to...
A lot of it is going into the compost.
Exactly, which I love that you compost, first of all.
Of course, but
it still isn't nutrition if it's not eaten.
It's not eaten. That's such a, that's like my main takeaway from today. Like they have to eat it. They have to like it. And so, just constantly trying to source even more whole foods and nutrient-dense varieties. Yeah.
And I love that. And you've probably even learned, you know, there's this vision of an ideal way to feed.
Absolutely.
But then when you probably are running into accessibility, cost, food waste. I mean,
there's so many components into planning our menu.
And we can have the best intentions. And I think given all of those parameters, that's why I'm so amazed by how well Casa's done with this. Because it's really hard to navigate.
Thank you.
Supply chain and
sourcing has gotten so much more complex in the last couple of years, and you know, and with seasonality, because we live in states where we have winter, and some of those fruits are not accessible or any good in certain times of year. So just I think that we could get better with the seasonality of things and maybe serving certain fruits in the summer and different fruits in the winter. Those are the types of things that I'm looking at right now to make even more improvement.
And that takes a lot of extra time and care and knowledge and love. And so kudos to you guys for doing that.
Thanks for asking. Okay. So back to snacks and shopping and packaged foods. Is there something that you think all parents should know about reading labels, or is there like a very basic tip that you can give people about reading food labels at the grocery store?
Yeah. You know, food labels are there to give the consumer information.
Of course.
And so first of all, you know, looking at food labels, and what's your goal? Are you looking for more protein? Are you looking for less added sugar? Are you looking for calories? Kind of knowing what you're going in for. Yeah. But I would just, you know, really, that's a hard one because it depends what you're looking for.
Exactly.
And I'm not going to say go in and look for like zero added sugar everything, right?
Yeah, I got that.
I love that parents can educate themselves by comparing things.
Right.
Pick up two. It takes a little extra time in the store, but compare things that you might be eating or might just be a staple in your household and maybe see if there's a better variety.
Sure.
Or one that tastes better.
Yeah.
Or one that you're actually going to eat. Or one that has less added sugar. Yeah. So to kind of do that comparison, because knowledge is power.
Amazing.
That's just, the label's there for knowledge, and knowledge is power.
Yeah, so good. So important. Okay, so what are some long-term benefits that you can tell us about clean eating for children's growth and brain development?
Yeah. I don't have a strong definition for clean eating, but the importance of getting a variety of foods early on.
Yep.
And a variety is important. Why? Because there's different nutrients in different foods, right? Vitamin C over here, vitamin K over here, the variety of nutrients. And every nutrient plays a critical, essential role in the body for growth and development. And so that is so important early on as little bodies are growing, the brain's developing. Yeah. We're learning from our environment. And so it's so important early on. Yeah. Make sure we're getting all those nutrients. I mean, it's important as we age too, right? Different life stages, there's different needs for requirements for different vitamins and nutrients, but especially early on for those growing bodies.
No, I feel like that's been the key message today is just variety. And that's such a goal for us at Casa, and I think for parents at home too. Yeah. Anything that you wanted to add that I didn't ask about that you think is really important for people to know?
You know, I just want to give credit to you guys for for Casa for doing such an amazing job, but also to the parents out there that it is not easy to first of all, raise a child.
Yeah.
There's a bazillion things we can talk about, but
so
nutrition often becomes an afterthought. And, there's a tier. Fed is better than not fed.
Yep.
But then there is so many complexities with nutrition.
Right.
So I tell parents, do your best, forget the rest.
Love it.
The more important to just have a healthy relationship with food.
Yeah.
Get a variety. And the easiest message out there before we get hung up on, natural, organic, or clean, or all these other words, is just eat more fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
That's the number one tip I can leave people, is just
so simple.
Strive to eat more fruits and vegetables at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And once you've mastered that, okay, now take it up a notch.
Yeah. No, I love the concept. Like, even if it's an add-on to whatever you're serving.
Yes.
You just get it on the plate, and then they have that option.
And we can all do that, even as adults.
Yeah, of course.
We all need more fruits and vegetables in our diet. So.
And especially wait till you have teenagers.
Yes. Keep it simple.
Can have
that's my motto. Keep it simple.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So where can people find you on social media or otherwise?
Yeah. So I'm not as active on social as I used to, but my Instagram account is still there. It's at Nutrition for Moms on Instagram. And all my opinions and everything are my own on there as a dietitian. They don't reflect, my day job and everything, but I love to just share my personal accounts on there and with you and others. So thank you for having me.
No, thank you for sharing all of that and all of your expertise with us. It felt very accessible and like welcoming and accepting as working moms that are trying to balance our complex lives with raising healthy kids.
Yeah. There's a lot of food shame out there, and so let's just do our best and let's support each other and eat more fruits and vegetables.
Yay! Got it. Okay, we have our main takeaways. Thank you so much, Marissa. This has been awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you, Marissa, for all of your concise and helpful tips. I believe that as parents and as childcare providers, it is our responsibility to safeguard our children's health and well-being. Thanks for being an amazing ally in that journey.
And to the parents of Casa, again, just to reiterate that we know you're doing your very best, and continue to strive and push and learn and grow and support your children and yourselves as parents on your nutrition journey and beyond.